It's a huge pleasure to welcome you all, a copy of which should, I believe, be on the desk of every author. Participated in this year's Queen Comp, including 11 from Samoa.
Heartbreaking royal shock is shaking Buckingham Palace. Behind closed doors, Queen Camilla faces whispers of betrayal and a decision that could change her life forever. What secret pushed the monarchy to this breaking point? The answer is hidden in a dramatic twist no one saw coming. Stay tuned for the revelation. Queen Camilla stepped into the role of Queen Consort with history's weight pressing from every direction. The grand coronation of 2023 looked like triumph, yet Queen Camilla sensed something colder beneath the cheers. Applause at Westminster Abbey carried more politeness than passion, and smiles in the crowd hid quiet doubts. Public memory of Princess Diana still shaped opinion years after the tragedy of that earlier era. Every mention of Diana sparked comparison.
It's been a tremendous boost. A mass of smiling faces.
I'm simply the latest in a line that can be traced back generations.
Princess Catherine, admired for warmth and grace, often reminded the nation of Diana's charm. Queen Camilla faced a different reality. Every appearance invited intense inspection, every photograph dissected for meaning. Royal commentators observed how cameras captured moments of stiffness during public engagements. Each careful wave, each measured smile fueled conversation about distance rather than devotion. While tradition had crowned Queen Camilla, affection remained out of reach. Monarchies survive on perception, and perception hovered like a shadow over every royal walkabout, every state dinner. Behind palace walls, trusted advisors sensed the tension. Private conversations circled around the challenge of earning lasting trust. Queen Camilla carried decades of headlines that once labeled a relationship as controversial, and those old narratives resurfaced whenever approval ratings dipped. The throne looked secure, but the foundation of public confidence felt fragile.
In the end, I ended up properly. I howled over night after night after night. It's a day when we are reminded, more often than not, by somebody.
Whispers about a quiet refuge in Wiltshire, Raymill House, began to draw interest. Observers wondered why Queen Camilla often chose that country estate over Windsor or Buckingham Palace. Was Raymill House simply a peaceful retreat, or something more? Questions like these opened a mystery that would soon reach the heart of royal life. Raymill House in the Wiltshire countryside stood as more than a country estate. Purchased long before marriage to King Charles, Raymill House represented independence and quiet freedom. Within those stone walls, Queen Camilla enjoyed evenings away from public ceremony, tending gardens, hosting close friends, and living at a pace chosen by Queen Camilla alone. Observers noticed, however, that Raymill House never faded from daily life after the coronation. Instead of settling fully into Windsor or Buckingham Palace, Queen Camilla often returned to Raymill weekends and holidays.
For women of all ages, when the women of the world come together, you all represent not only yourselves and your own achievements.
Each visit whispered a different story to the public: comfort for Queen Camilla, or a retreat signaling distance from royal duty. Guests at Raymill House added intrigue. Well-known figures from culture, charity, and politics occasionally slipped through those gates. Invitations remained discreet, conversations unreported. Admirers saw nothing unusual, simply a queen welcoming company in a beloved home. Critics questioned whether influence quietly shifted during those evenings. For royal tradition, palaces stand as symbols of continuity. For Raymill House, privacy remained its defining feature. As years passed, headlines speculated about parallel worlds. Palaces for ceremony, Raymill for decisions beyond the cameras. Each weekend away fueled curiosity and deepened the sense of an untold chapter forming far from London. Questions gathered like clouds. Did Raymill House shelter harmless relaxation, or did those quiet dinners shape choices reaching the heart of the crown?
It's a huge pleasure to be with you all. I received the great honor of being installed.
No clear answers emerged, leaving mystery around a home that might hold the key to an unfolding royal test. Even while Raymill House invited speculation, the stronger pressure came from numbers. Polling after the coronation revealed a striking contrast. Princess Catherine consistently enjoyed approval above 70% and often higher. Her effortless warmth captured in photographs with children and volunteers. Queen Camilla remained in the low 30s, sometimes less. Every chart told the same story. When asked who best represented the monarchy's future, a majority named Princess Catherine. Only a fraction selected Queen Camilla. Analysts warned that modern monarchy no longer lived on tradition alone. Public affection now protected the crown as surely as protocol. The images feeding those numbers deepened the divide. Princess Catherine kneeling to comfort a toddler or embracing a grieving family created moments replayed worldwide. Queen Camilla's appearances, usually formal lunches or ceremonial openings, carried a cooler energy. Stiff posture and measured smiles were interpreted as distance. Inside Buckingham Palace, advisors read the polls with unease. Tradition might place a crown, but national sentiment could shape the monarchy's long-term survival. Queen Camilla's determination to fulfill duties never wavered, yet headlines increasingly asked if the role inspired admiration or quiet resistance. Behind every statistic lay a deeper question. Could royal tradition outweigh a generation raised on instant images and viral clips? Each month of falling support increased urgency for answers, setting the stage for private discussions that would test loyalty and reshape family dynamics. While public debate filled newspapers, a subtler drama unfolded inside royal corridors. Palace staff noticed patterns that felt unusual. Queen Camilla requested detailed notes on parliamentary debates and confidential briefings, usually reserved for King Charles. Aides quietly wondered about purpose and motive.
I hadn't realised what domestic abuse was, especially then. It's terrible that...
Evening gatherings at Raymil House added another layer. Guests included respected politicians, major donors, and influential cultural leaders. Officially described as social dinners, those meetings left some staff uneasy. Long-serving courtiers spoke of blurred boundaries, of influence growing beyond a traditional consort's role. Subtle tests of loyalty emerged. Some staff members described receiving personal requests directly from Queen Camilla, requests that bypassed standard channels. Observers sensed a quiet realignment of influence, with key aides dividing attention between King Charles and Queen Camilla. Family relationships felt the strain. Princess Anne, steadfast in lifelong service, voiced unease about the shifting balance of influence. Prince William grew increasingly reserved during joint appearances, a coolness that rarely escaped notice. Each small signal hinted that concerns had moved beyond private staff discussions and into the heart of the family. These fragments, private briefings, influential dinners, shifting loyalties, did not create scandal individually. Together, they painted a picture that demanded answers. Advisors began documenting patterns, and conversations turned from curiosity to quiet alarm. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test trust, redefine boundaries, and force choices that could change the monarchy's path. Inside Buckingham Palace, quiet unease deepened into urgent conversations. Princess Anne, known for direct counsel and lifelong devotion to royal duty, grew increasingly concerned about Raymil House gatherings and expanding influence. Princess Anne believed the monarchy's strength rested on clarity of roles, and subtle shifts around Queen Camilla now threatened that clarity. Prince William sensed the same growing strain. Public comparisons to Princess Diana intensified each time approval ratings highlighted the contrast between Princess Catherine and Queen Camilla.
It is my view that the deceitful way the interview was obtained substantially influenced. She was failed not just by a rogue reporter.
Behind palace doors, Prince William grew colder in private meetings, each interaction revealing distance and frustration. Discussions with advisors painted a common picture: private dinners, confidential briefings, and persistent questions about loyalty. Each detail may have seemed harmless alone, yet together the pattern demanded a response. Princess Anne decided that silence risked far more than confrontation. In a private audience with King Charles, Princess Anne expressed unwavering respect while warning that influence beyond traditional consort duties could erode trust in the crown. Every word carried the weight of decades of service and a lifetime of protecting royal stability. Prince William, measured in public but firm in private, echoed the concern. Through deliberate action rather than heated language, Prince William signaled agreement that the situation required a decisive family conversation. Advisors recognized the urgency and arranged a confidential meeting deep within Buckingham Palace. Chosen for discretion and history, the oak-paneled chamber would soon host a moment capable of redirecting the monarchy's future. Anticipation filled every corridor, with staff aware that a turning point approached. The selected chamber lay far from ceremonial halls, lined with portraits of past rulers whose painted eyes seemed to watch in silence. King Charles entered first, carrying documents outlining concerns gathered over months. Princess Anne and Prince William arrived soon after, bringing the combined strength of tradition and the next generation. Queen Camilla entered last, steady and composed. Years of public challenges had trained Queen Camilla to meet scrutiny with calm. The quiet inside the chamber felt heavier than any cheering crowd or flashing camera. Princess Anne began the discussion with characteristic clarity. Speaking with steady conviction, Princess Anne described the monarchy as a trust belonging to the people, not a stage for private influence.
It always has been one of the remarkable features in general, and a lot for horses in particular, that is entirely acceptable, and it works.
Princess Anne detailed concerns about Raymil House gatherings and increasing involvement in state matters, urging King Charles to protect the institution above personal comfort. Prince William followed with silence more powerful than speech. The unwavering gaze across the table carried memories of Princess Diana and an implicit call to honor the values associated with her legacy. King Charles listened, hands resting on carefully prepared notes. After a long pause, King Charles spoke of gratitude for Queen Camilla's loyalty during difficult years and acknowledged the resilience that had supported countless royal duties. Yet King Charles also described a monarchy built on public trust, a trust weakened by repeated reports of private influence and political proximity. Each word drew the meeting closer to an unavoidable decision. Staff standing along the walls sensed history forming in real time. Silence settled again as everyone awaited the final judgment. When King Charles finally spoke again, the tone carried both sorrow and resolve. King Charles explained that the crown existed only through public confidence and clear constitutional limits. Evidence of private briefings, confidential Raymil House gatherings, and lobbying for expanded roles had strained that confidence. King Charles concluded that the title of Queen Consort would end immediately. The statement filled the chamber with a silence deeper than any outburst. Advisors who had expected strong words still seemed shaken by the finality of the decision. Queen Camilla's face tightened as the magnitude of the announcement settled. Years of dedication and countless public duties could not prevent the verdict. The chamber held only the sound of quiet breathing and the echo of King Charles's words. Princess Anne added a final comment as confirmation. "It is time." The phrase, simple and steady, carried centuries of royal tradition and reinforced the message that duty must outweigh personal preference. Prince William offered no speech, yet the unbroken gaze conveyed support for the decision and respect for the institution. For those present, that silent endorsement closed the discussion as firmly as any formal declaration. The meeting ended not with ceremony, but with a long, heavy pause. Doors opened quietly, and attendants stepped back to allow the royal family to leave. What began as whispers among staff had become a defining moment for the crown, a decision that would shape public opinion and royal history for generations. News of the decision reached the world outside Buckingham Palace within hours. Crowds formed quickly at the gates, drawn by a sense that royal history had shifted overnight. Candles flickered in evening air as supporters gathered in quiet solidarity, while curious onlookers waited for any glimpse of movement inside. Signs and banners reflected a divided mood. Some expressed support for Queen Camilla, praising long years of dedication and endurance. Others carried portraits of Princess Diana, seeing the moment as a turning of history's wheel in favor of an earlier legacy. Conversations in cafes, trains, and markets turned to one question: how could a royal title vanish in silence? Social media ignited instantly. Hashtags surged across trending lists, hashtag Queen No More and hashtag Justice, for Diana among the most visible. Video clips from Queen Camilla's coronation circulated again, now paired with captions suggesting an abrupt rewriting of the story that once looked secure. Comment sections filled with debate, sympathy, and sharp disagreement. Broadcast news and talk shows devoted entire segments to the development. Analysts debated whether King Charles had acted to protect tradition or to preserve public approval. Royal historians noted the rarity of such a swift change, while younger commentators described the decision as proof that public opinion now shaped even the most ancient institutions. In the midst of this storm, Prince William and Princess Catherine unexpectedly became anchors of reassurance. Appearances at community events showed calm continuity, with cameras capturing warm interactions that steadied a nation wondering about the crown's future. Polls taken in the following days revealed surging approval for both, reinforcing their symbolic role as the next chapter of stability. While national debate unfolded, a quieter scene carried equal emotional power. Outside Clarence House, early morning light revealed an unplanned gathering of well-wishers and photographers. Hours passed in near silence until heavy doors opened and Queen Camilla appeared. Dressed in understated tones and without ceremonial symbols, Queen Camilla stepped onto the gravel path with deliberate calm. The absence of guards or fanfare made each step resonate even more. Observers described an atmosphere thick with unspoken respect and lingering sadness. Inside the royal household, changes were already underway. Official websites updated biographies, removing references to the Queen Consort title. Portraits recently hung in grand halls were taken down with quiet efficiency. Stationery bearing the royal cipher was recalled and replaced. Centuries of tradition seemed to shift in real time, marking the end of an era that had barely begun. The walk from Clarence House to waiting vehicles became an indelible image. Some onlookers bowed heads, honoring endurance through years of public challenge. Others stood motionless, perhaps believing history had corrected itself. Cameras clicked rapidly, preserving every moment of an exit that signaled both personal loss and institutional recalibration. Friends and longtime staff later described Queen Camilla as composed yet deeply reflective during the short journey. No official statement followed, only silence that left room for speculation. Would this be a retreat into private life at Raymel House, or the first step toward a new chapter away from ceremonial obligations? The unanswered questions surrounding that quiet departure invited endless discussion. Supporters held hope for renewed public work in charities and cultural projects. Commentators wondered whether memoirs or carefully chosen interviews might one day reveal untold details about the family meeting and the forces that led to this turning point. The decision to remove the Queen Consort title exposed more than a single family's conflict. It revealed how a centuries-old institution now lives in constant dialogue with public perception. In earlier eras, royal duty stood apart from popularity. In the digital age, trust and visibility formed the new foundation of the crown. The contrast between Princess Catherine's surging approval and Queen Camilla's struggle illustrated a challenge faced by modern monarchy. Ceremony alone no longer secures affection. Images of kindness and authenticity travel faster than royal proclamations. Every wave, every conversation, and every shared photograph influences national feeling more than formal titles. The episode also demonstrated the strength of internal accountability. Princess Anne's unwavering call to protect duty, Prince William's quiet insistence on transparency, and King Charles's willingness to act despite personal costs together showed that tradition can adapt when required. That adaptation, however, came with a visible human cost. Years of devotion by Queen Camilla, ending in a single, solemn meeting. Viewers may wonder what lies ahead. Will Queen Camilla embrace a quieter role devoted to private charity and family? Could a carefully crafted memoir reshape understanding of these events? Might future historians see the decision as a moment that preserved the monarchy or as evidence of vulnerability in an age of instant opinion? Join the discussion below with thoughts on what this moment means for the future of the royal family. Share perspectives, ask questions, and continue exploring the intricate world of royal history and tradition. For deeper insight into related royal events and untold stories, continue watching with the next video on the channel.